Welcome to the third module. During this module, we will talk about access to welfare benefits. In the previous training module, we said that only legally resident EU citizens can stay beyond 3 months in a host member state and apply for permanent residence after 5 years of continuous and legal residence. Legally resident mobile EU citizens can expect equal treatment in the host member state, i.e., being subject to the same conditions as citizens of that state. Before we go into more detail about what equal treatment means, let's see if you remember which EU citizens are regarded as being legally resident after 3 months of presence in the host member state. Essentially, this applies to economically active persons, workers, self-employed persons, status retainers, and job seekers, persons with sufficient resources, students, and family members of mobile EU citizens covered by one of these statuses. The right to equal treatment also applies to family members who are not nationals of a member state and who have the right to reside or permanent residence. In brief, the principle of equal treatment requires host member states to treat mobile EU citizens like their own nationals in terms of access to advantages like welfare benefits, tax allowances, and education. This means that a mobile EU citizen legally residing in the host member state and his or her family members must not be discriminated against in terms of access to school, the granting of welfare benefits, taxation, medical care, etc. Access to welfare benefits is probably the main source of help that mobile EU citizens and their family members may enjoy during their stay in the host member state. In this context, it is important to distinguish between social security benefits and social assistance benefits. The term social assistance benefits covers any assistance granted by the authorities to destitute persons who do not have sufficient resources to meet their needs and those of their family. These are non-contributory cash benefits. This means that social assistance benefits are paid with no contribution requirement and cover minimum living expenses such as subsistence benefit, disability allowances, contribution to accommodation costs, heating costs, etc. Social security benefits, on the other hand, are contributory benefits. That is to say that they are paid in return for contributions, such as sickness benefit, maternity allowance, allowance following work-related accidents, unemployment benefit, and pensions. This also includes universal non-contributory social security benefits, such as family allowance or child benefit. During the first 3 months, the conditions for access to social assistance and social security benefits are the same. Only economically active persons, except job seekers, self-sufficient persons and family members who accompany or join people who hold these statuses are entitled to the same social assistance and social security benefits as nationals are from the beginning of their stay in the host member state. The host member state is not obliged to grant social assistance to economically inactive EU citizens without resources during the first 3 months of residence. Neither is it obliged to grant social assistance to first-time job seekers or job seekers who haven't retained worker status or self-employed status. After 3 months of presence in the host country, only legally resident EU citizens are entitled to social assistance. Member states may make the granting of social assistance benefits conditional upon meeting the requirements for legal residence after the initial 3 months. This means that only economically active persons, except job seekers, self-sufficient persons and family members who accompany or join people who hold these statuses are entitled to the same benefits as member state nationals after 3 months of presence in the country. Economically inactive EU citizens without resources or sickness insurance are not entitled to social assistance benefits under EU law. States may decide to provide inactive mobile EU citizens with social assistance as well, under national law. However, if this is the case, claiming social assistance may give rise to reasonable doubt on the part of the national immigration authorities that the person may have become an unreasonable burden on the welfare system of the host member state. This may lead to expulsion for loss of residence rights. We will look at this in more detail in the next module. Economically active EU citizens, including job seekers, self-sufficient persons and family members who accompany or join people who hold these statuses, are entitled to social security benefits on equal terms with nationals. To obtain social security benefits, economically inactive EU citizens must pass the habitual residence test, proving that they have their centre of interest in the member state in question. They also have to prove that they have the right to reside in the host member state. Job seekers, after 3 months of presence in the country, even if they fulfil the conditions for not being expelled and therefore for legally residing in the host member state, job seeking and having a genuine chance of finding a job, are not entitled to social assistance on equal terms with nationals of the host member state. However, job seekers, in the opinion of the EU Court of Justice, qualify as workers under the treaty and therefore have the right to equal treatment and may be entitled to benefits aimed at facilitating access to employment in the labour market of the host member state, such as job seekers' allowance. If they are habitually resident in the host member state, job seekers may also qualify for social security benefits and not just social assistance in the host member state, provided that they are regularly residing in the host member state. After 5 years of legal and continuous residence in the host member state, all mobile EU citizens, including job seekers, and family members are entitled to social assistance and social security under the same conditions as nationals of that country, without having to prove their status, such as being a worker or having sufficient resources. This ends our module on access to welfare benefits. Thank you for listening.